Hello and welcome. The other day I had some bad honing luck, so I decided to take my annoyance out on some poor battleships. We are in the Tier 8 Japanese aircraft carrier, Kaga, and we are in a Tier 6 to 8 game, a game where I think a Kaga should not be in. Because Tier 6 ships, particularly battleships, just aren't equipped to deal with something like a Kaga. Here's the match. An Andrea Doria, a Mackensen. They're not gonna have a good time if I come around. So as the Kaga, your primary focus, or at least this is how I play it, is using torpedo bombers, and it's basically only torpedo bombers. Everything you do with captain skills and upgrades is to make your torpedo bombers better and to use them more because they're really powerful. Far more than the other two plane types. So you just want to spam torp bombers as much as you can. First target, Prince Heinrich. She's turning, but I don't think that turning is gonna... Well, actually it might. It might be good enough, but... I mean, she's still gonna get hit, but it might be enough to not get hit by all 4 torpedoes. Although that might also just be my bad aiming. Anyway, we drop, we pull back, and we go again. Because there's really no reason not to. And, sure, I didn't hit all 4 torpedoes on that Heinrich, but we hit 3 for 11,000 damage. That ship only has 56k HP. And we're 14 kilometers from the target again. Although, I suspect that we're not gonna get a very good angle on the Prince Heinrich. Although, maybe we can. I'm gonna drop on the Leander on the way. Although, perhaps unnecessary. I wanted to prevent the cap, but it seems my friendly submarine was actually pretty good at it already. Do I go after the Heinrich or do I drop on the Veneto? Actually, nah, let's go back again. I mean, there's so many possible targets. Oh, the angle on the Heinrich is pretty good. Like, that guy is actually doing about as much as you possibly can as a ship like that to avoid being struck by the Kaga. He still gets hit, obviously, but he takes minimal damage. And so I don't want to strike him again because I found a better target, an Andrea Doria, behind him. And that guy is more on the edge. You see, one of the things to consider as a CV is where are the enemy overlapping anti-air bubbles going to happen? And the Prince Heinrich is very close to the Aoba, so there's going to be an AA overlap there, whereas there shouldn't be one at Andrea Doria. Especially because Veneto is also heading in the same direction as the Alba. Although, considering the Andrea Doria isn't engaged with any of my ships, it means that it might end up being more difficult to drop her just because, you know, she can just freely turn however she wants. Of course, she's still gonna get hit, it's more of a question of how many times. Okay, and she's gonna continue turning, so maybe... Oh my god, wow! She actually dodged! Well, see guys, I guess CVs are just fine, right? There's no problem, I mean, literally just a dodge. How hard can it be? Well, Andy, enjoy some torpedoes, because you were already in a turn, so there's not much you can do. He has 45,000 HP. Clarification, he had 45,000 HP, now he has 28,000 HP. Although he is healing. But yeah, this is what I mean. Why am I fighting ships like that? That 3 good torpedo bomber drops could just wipe out the battleship. I'm gonna start moving my ship forward because I think the enemies are going to basically full on retreat from this side. I expect some of my teammates will deal with the Salmon, the enemy submarine, and the battleships will be on full-on retreat. Because I don't see any reason why they would stick around. There is absolutely no chance that they're gonna win on this side. And we're gonna... Oh, the Andreador... Oh, and he doesn't seem to have damage control party. Oh, actually, I think he just used it. Never mind. I suppose we're not... Oh, no. It's just the animation is different. Well, goodbye, Andreadoria. Or perhaps... Never mind. No, he's dead. And now we have a choice. Do we go for the Veneto or the Heinrich? It really depends on how they move. Obviously, the better target would be Heinrich from a ship's perspective, but this guy was being kind of slippery earlier, so it might not be quite as easy to drop good drops on him. Yeah, nah. You can do multiple passes, but first of all, it wastes planes more. Second, the question is, can you actually do it? Right? Like, how many planes do you have left over once you do that? The salmon hasn't been taken care of yet, but I'm sure soon. Oh yeah, she's on the surface. She is very dead. And we're gonna drop the Heinrich again. She's the closer battleship after all. Games where you get to only fight battleships as a Kaga feel great. Because there is no slippery destroyer getting through your torpedoes, although I suppose there was a slippery battleship turning through them, but that's not really the norm. We're gonna turn in a bit. The Heinrich is a very good target here, particularly because he's being engaged by my teammates. And this means that he can't just freely turn however he wants. He might do some turning, but you know, he can't keep turning just because that'll show broadside to my teammates, and he would just take more damage from them. Okay, and now he slowed down for that drop. This means that he won't be able to speed up for this one. And I guess the follow-up, maybe on the Veneto. Maybe we can hit 1 or 2 torpedoes. Because the Veneto actually did turn on. Oh! The Heinrich actually went down before all of my torps got there. Okay then. I'm only expecting a single hit on the Veneto. I mean, it still caused the flooding, so that's all that really matters. You know, in terms of the match, on our side of the map, it felt really overwhelming. Like, we were winning so hard, but look at the scoreboard. I mean, we've lost 3 ships, they've lost 4. It's pretty much even so far, more or less. But I think the numbers are a little deceiving right now. Because I think the enemy is going to start collapsing very soon. Because they only have 3 battleships left and, well, Veneto isn't long for this world. And Mackensen is basically in full-on retreat against the Bismarck, makes complete sense. And the Zieten, I suppose we'll have to see what happens there, but chances are he won't be too long either. I do move my CV out just in case, because maybe things don't quite go as I predict. So it makes sense to be safer. Oh, the Veneto used the smokescreen to do what exactly? Make it easier to hit him? Because when he fired the guns, you know, he was still visible anyway. And goodbye, Vittorio Veneto. And now, we go after the Zieten. I'm also gonna bring my CV around to get as close as I can. So the time it takes to do another drop is as minimal as possible. Zieten's looking like a really juicy target. I think that's kind of it for the Zieten. So now the question is Cleveland or the Mackensen. I guess we can go after the battleship for now, but next drop the Cleveland and the battleship are gonna be sharing anti-air. Also, we found the Shokaku. You know what? Let's drop the Shokaku. Because the Shokaku isn't gonna dodge my torps. Everyone else is. The CB probably isn't. Now I was thinking of trying the second run, but with the fighter around, it was actually a bad idea. I should have pulled back immediately instead. Wow, it's actually a 5 versus 4. I mean, it's not nearly as... I really felt like we were winning way harder than we actually were. To still have a submarine left too. Damn. That means one of our cruisers will have to deal with her eventually. Because as far as I understand, the CV has basically no weaponry that is useful against the submarine other than spotting. Should probably go after the battleship here, although maybe the Cleveland ends up turning in a way where a drop makes sense. Regardless, it's going to be a fairly costly drop. We're dropping into a tier 8 light cruiser plus a battleship. But I mean, it's going to be more costly for the enemy. And now we pull out again from the AA range, and we're going to do a second drop too. Too bad we didn't hit the fourth one, so we didn't finish the battleship off, but I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna do that. Then the question is, do I try to drop on the Cleveland? I really don't want to maneuver around the Cleveland, but yeah, nah, well, let's not do that. Let's go drop on the CV instead, I think. And maybe we'll even find the submarine while we're at it. But this does mean that we need a fairly long repositioning path, right? Because we can't fly within 6 kilometers of the Cleveland, and we actually need to be at an angle to be able to drop the Shokaku. Because if we approach directly the Shokaku from where we are right now, we would end up being, dropping her from behind, which obviously doesn't really work. Especially because the Shokaku is actually moving now. So I need to pull out again and wait until the Shokaku passes the island a little bit, or at least we get an angle that we can drop the Shokaku from. Oh, and we found the submarine. Nice. Hello, U-69. Anyway, it does seem the Shokaku is a pretty decent target now from this angle, unless she turns in, but I really don't think she would like to start turning in too much. Because that's pretty much guaranteed death, because she will open herself up to all of my allied ship fire. Pull back and use torpedo bombers again. By the way, have you noticed we haven't used any other plane than torpedo bombers so far? Because torpedo bombers are amazing. And I think this should also finish off the Shokaku now. Yep, goodbye Shokaku. And now the game is settled, because the enemy just can't win this anymore. I mean, they only have a Cleveland as a surface ship left, and we have a full HP CV with lots of planes left. Although I might have a lot of planes, I'm still not gonna fly through all of these fighters. That would be suicidal. Priority for me is to finish off the Cleveland, and then I'm just gonna circle over where the U-69 should be. And I'll be moving my ship into the cap zone meanwhile. I'll just drop from in front of the Cleveland. This will stop her from maneuvering too much, because she will have to either eat the torpedoes or... oh, never mind, she's gonna eat the torpedoes, I think. Yep. Enjoy, Cleveland. And now, it is time to find the submarine. And then circle... well, actually, I guess we already found the submarine. Question is, can we see it? Nope, can't drop on it either. I'm still gonna drop the torps, just in case, because there's no friendly fire anymore, so it doesn't really matter if I hit my ally. Right? There is no friendly fire anymore, right? Otherwise, this is gonna be really awkward. Okay, no, there's no friendly fire. Jesus! That would have been very awkward otherwise. I guess we just... Oh, wait, is this oil spill, oil spot, the position of the submarine on the surface? Because I don't remember seeing that before. But yeah, I think tier 8 CVs probably shouldn't be in mostly tier 6 games. I think they're fine if it's almost an entirely tier 8 game, or perhaps even tier 7 game, with like 1 or 2 tier 6 ships, but not with this many. At least, well, from my end as the CV, it's actually quite fun, but I imagine that from the battleship's perspective it wasn't quite as fun and engaging. So, do we just follow the oil spill? And that's literally it? That's the entire game now? Wow. Very, very fun. I suppose we just don't have the ships to deal with this, right? Because we only have the anti-submarine planes, and oh, I guess he ran out of battery anyway, so it's over. It wasn't actually that bad, because if we had a light cruiser or a destroyer, you know, she would have just sailed over it, pressed a button, and it would have ended. I guess it's fine. 134k damage, we sank 4 ships, we hit 35 torpedoes. And this puts us at, wow, number 2 actually, with 1781 base XP. The Grass at tier 6 actually did really well. I feel bad for that Andreadore, 107 base XP. Yeah, because there's just not that much he could do against the Kaga. Quite unfortunate. The Prince Heinrich actually does need a compliment, because he did pretty much everything he could to try to minimize damage from the CV. It's just... it wasn't really enough. Or at least it wasn't enough to actually contribute to the battle as much as my battleships did. Or maybe we just had a better team, I don't know. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons and patron. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.